If you think you can read people, think again. Because the ones you should never trust rarely look dangerous. They look normal, kind, harmless, and that's why so many people miss the signs until the damage is already done. Psychologists say the biggest red flags aren't loud, they're subtle. Tiny reactions, small behaviors, soft patterns you only notice when you slow down enough to pay attention. And once you understand these 5 types, you'll start seeing them everywhere. Friends, coworkers, family, even people you thought were good. First, we have the too nice one. First, you'll think you got lucky. They agree with everything. They never get upset. They're always fine. And they make you feel safe instantly. But here's the truth nobody likes to admit. People who are too nice aren't honest. They're careful. Careful with their words. Careful with their reactions. Careful not to show how they really feel. Psychologists call this impression control. They don't want a relationship, they want control over how you see them. And here's where it gets uncomfortable. They listen closely, but not because they care. Because they're collecting information. Your fears, your mistakes, your weak spots, all stored quietly for later. These are the people who switch up when you least expect it. The mask drops, and you realize you weren't talking to a person. You were talking to a performance. Next is the quiet critic. You never hear them say anything directly. They don't insult you. They don't argue with you. They don't seem toxic. But you always leave the conversation feeling off, because their criticism is soft. A joke about your habits. A small comment about your choices. A tiny facial expression when you talk about something you're proud of. It's never loud enough to confront. Never clear enough to call out. But it's strong enough to shake your self-esteem a little every time. Psychologists call this micro-invalidating. Tiny comments that slowly change how you see yourself. And that's the danger. You start doubting your decisions. You start feeling wrong without knowing why. Because they don't attack your life, they attack your confidence. Then we have the charm player. They walk in and instantly grab attention. Funny, confident, smooth, almost addictive to be around. And that's the whole point. Charm is their door. Once you're inside, it becomes something else entirely. Most people fall for charm because it feels like connection. But psychologists say charm is often a tool, not a personality. These people overpromise and underdeliver. They talk big but act small. They say all the right things, but their behavior never lines up. And that mismatch, that's your warning. Because once you're emotionally hooked, their real intentions show. And by then, leaving feels almost impossible. Now, the drama generator. Everything in their life is an emergency. Every day is a new crisis. And somehow you always get dragged into it. At first, you might feel bad for them. You might even try to help. But after a while, you notice a pattern. They don't want solutions. They want attention. Their chaos becomes your stress. Their emotional storms drain your energy, your time, your peace. Psychologists say people like this use drama as a way to feel important. The more chaos they create, the more centered they feel. And if you stay around them too long, you start confusing their problems with your responsibilities, which is exactly how they pull you in. Finally, the energy drainer. They're not loud. They're not dramatic. They're not obviously toxic. But your body reacts before your mind does. You feel tired, uneasy, stressed, or drained after talking to them, even if nothing bad happened. Your nervous system picks up what your brain doesn't. Their presence is not safe for you. Psychologists say the human brain has emotional radar, and when it senses someone who is unstable, negative, or draining, it responds with exhaustion. That feeling you get around them, that's not overthinking. It's instinct. And here's the final truth. Not everyone deserves your energy. Not everyone deserves access to your mind. Not everyone deserves your trust. But most people ignore the signs because they want to believe the best in others. Here's the reality. Trust is not about being kind. It's about being aware. Pay attention to the tone behind their words, the patterns behind their behavior, the way your body feels around them, the consistency between what they say and what they do. These small details reveal everything. And once you see these types clearly, you stop letting the wrong people have power over your peace. Which of these types have you dealt with? Comment which one you recognize, and subscribe for more psychology insights that help you truly understand people.